A year and a half after its Hitjob against the Adani Group, Hindenburg Research has now levelled a series of allegations against the chairperson of the Securities and Exchange Board of India, Madhabi Puri Buch. Yes, Hindenburg has alleged that Madhabi and her husband Dhaval had undisclosed stakes in offshore entities linked to the Adani Group. Hindenburg has published a document claiming that these investments were made in obscure offshore funds in Bermuda as well as Mauritius. In its published document, Hindenburg suggests that these investments date back to 2015, before Madhabi Buch's appointment as a whole-time member of Sebi in 2017 and a subsequent elevation to Sebi chairperson in March 2022. Hindenburg has alleged that Sebi has shown a surprising lack of interest in taking public action against the Adani Group. It's no secret that Hindenburg is linked to George Soros' Open Society Foundation. It also is no secret that prior to the Hitjob in January 2023, short selling had taken place. In fact, Sebi had sent a show cause notice to Hindenburg in June this year for trading violations. In the 46-page show cause notice, Sebi has alleged that Hindenburg, Nathan Anderson and the entities of Mauritius-based foreign portfolio investor, Mark Kingdon, had violated regulations under the Sebi Act, the Prevention of Fraudulent and Unfair Trade Practices Regulations, the Code of Conduct for Research Analyst Regulations, and the Code of Conduct for Foreign Portfolio Investors. The regulator pointed out that the Hindenburg and the FBI entities undertook a misleading disclaimer that the report was solely for the valuation of securities traded outside India, when it clearly pertained to listed entities within India. The regulator said that Kingdon aided Hindenburg to indirectly participate in Adani Enterprises by collaboration with the short seller to trade in the company's futures in the Indian derivatives market and shared profits with the research firm. What's also interesting is a China link emerging. Anla Cheng, the wife of Mark Kingdon, has close links to the Chinese Communist Party and also runs English language propaganda for the Chinese in the US. She's the CEO of Soup China, a project that was shut down after probe calls by US senators. A whistleblower had given sworn testimony in the US Congress in 2022 with 500 pages of evidence to show that Mark Kingdon and Anla Cheng were agents of the People's Republic of China. In his show cause notice, Sebi questioned Hindenburg on sharing a draft of its report in advance with Kingdon Capital. This clearly did not sit well with the Soros cabal. The initial response was to brand the notice as nonsense, concocted to serve a preordained purpose in an attempt to silence and intimidate. And now, a month and a half later, they've gone all out to malign the regulatory body for securities and commodity markets in India. Meanwhile, Madhabi Puri Buch and Dhaval Buch have responded to Hindenburg's claims and denied the baseless allegations and insinuations made in the report. They've stated the same are devoid of any truth, as their life and finances are an open book. All disclosures as required have already been furnished to Sebi over the years. They've also gone on to state that they have no hesitation in disclosing any and all financial documents, including those that relate to the period when we were strictly private citizens, to any and every authority that may seek them, is what they've said. Further, in the interest of complete transparency, they've also said that it's unfortunate that Hindenburg Research, against whom Sebi has taken an enforcement action and issued a show cause notice, has chosen to attempt character assassination. Well, the Adani Group has also, meanwhile, issued a statement branding the document as malicious, mischievous and manipulative. The Adani Group maintains that publicly available information has been selectively manipulated to arrive at predetermined conclusions for personal profiteering, with wanton disregard for facts and the law. The Adani Group maintains that Hindenburg is recycling discredited claims that have been thoroughly investigated, proven to be baseless, and already dismissed by the Supreme Court in March 2023. The Adani Group maintains it has absolutely no commercial relationship with the individuals or matters mentioned in this calculated, deliberate effort to malign their standing for a discredited short seller under the scanner for several violations of Indian securities laws. Well, Hindenburg's allegations are no more than red herrings thrown by a desperate entity with total contempt for Indian laws. Now, while every suspicion needs to be probed, let's not be blind or naive about it. Hindenburg, Soros and their links to the CCP do need to be probed. Dr. Sharat Kohli, senior economist, is joining us now. Dr. Jaydeep Bhattacharya, President CDEPR, also is with us live. Mutali Nikore, senior economist, also joins us, as does Sumit Peer, a senior political commentator. Let me begin with you first. Dr. Kohli, what do you make of this latest report by Hindenburg, this time targeting the Sebi chairperson and her husband?
Well, good evening, Uday. Good evening to my fellow panelists and the dear NewsX viewers. I think Hindenburg is trying to use the same strategy again. And even before I go on to say anything else, I have a very, very important suggestion for Sebi for now at this moment. The market is going to open tomorrow morning. What needs to be probed is what short sellers are outstanding in the market at this point of time as I talk now. When the markets open at 9:15 tomorrow, there may be some reactions from the market because Sebi chief's name has been dragged into it. And again, the Hindenburg, booth is back. So there can be some temporary reactions in the market. Although I would say there's an old English saying, you fool me once, you're a fool. You fool me twice, I am the fool. So I really don't think investors are going to react to this the way they reacted, or traders are going to react the way they reacted. But I think a probe, an immediate probe, a Sunday evening probe needs to be launched right now. What are the outstanding short selling positions? Because tomorrow morning, when the market opens, they are going to profit out of this. That is my first point. My second point is, this means what Supreme Court did was wrong. What the expert committee, which has some very, very renowned people, what they found out was wrong. What the stock exchange investigated was wrong. That 5-member company sitting out there in a dingy little office in America is God, is the word of God. Everybody else around the world is a fool. And I'm shocked to listen to the opposition, members picking up this, grabbing this issue like this. You want to believe a 5-member company which is discredited across the world. It's got cases going on in America. It was discredited for almost sinking England once. That company you're willing to believe because it suits your narrative. And you're refusing to believe the Supreme Court, the committee, everything else. This is, Uday, a clear attack, a repeated attack, I would say. Ek chala hua kaartoos dobara chalane ki koshish hai. It's a repeated attack on Indian economy, on the Indian corporate system, on the government of India, and an entity. I'll tell you something very interesting. On television, on some of these news channels, you must be knowing, they cover stock market, the business channels. Even if a news anchor or as an expert, if I go on a channel and I recommend or disrecommend a share, I have to give a disclaimer that I do not hold those shares in my personal capacity, else I'll be held guilty. And who does this? Sebi requires it. Can you believe Sebi? And when the lady is saying, Sebi chairman is saying, they are mandatorily required to disclose to Sebi, to the Sebi board, that what holdings do they hold? Because after all, they govern the market. One word from them can swing the market in either direction. Do you think such a person sitting on the post of the chairman can really afford to do this? And when she's saying my finances are in public domain, what's the problem? You can go and investigate. But just to pick up the narrative, aap bola kaua kaan le gaya, pehle kaue ke piche bhag lo. Don't look at your ears whether they are still on your head or not. I think this is ridiculous. Absolutely. Just pick up anything where you can create a narrative, mislead people, mislead the corporate world, mislead the investors. 8 lakh crores plus was the loss suffered in the previous run. And I don't think they're going to get that kind of success again by any means, for that matter. As I said, tomorrow market may react temporarily. It may not even react. But even if it reacts, it will probably spring back immediately. But I would like to reiterate, Uday, we are just in the nick of time. While we are talking on your channel right now, please let this message reach Sebi. Open all the short selling positions and the truth will be revealed. We will not have to debate anything. Everything will be in black and white. Who are those cronies, those proxies of Hindenburg sitting out here in India who picked up short selling, especially on the Adani stocks? Pick up the list of Adani stocks, 7 to 8 in all. And I think the truth will be revealed that this was clearly. So 2 birds being hit with 1 stone. 1, make profit. 2, make India as badnaam as you can. Denigrate the country as much as you can. The man who's trying to build India's infrastructure, I'm not trying to take sides of Adani, but because it has been proved once. What has been proved once, I don't know what they are trying to get. It is like a criminal who gets a notice from the court. Uday, listen to me. If a criminal gets a notice from the court that you show cause why you should not be arrested tomorrow, and tomorrow what that criminal does is he launches a campaign against the judge. This is a classic case of that. A show cause notice issued a month and a half ago. And this is the strategy that Hindenburg thought of instead of responding to the notice. I think probably they thought offense is the best form of defense. But unfortunately, the principle does not work in all situations, Uday.
Okay, let me in fact quickly get in Dr. Bhattacharya as well. Dr. Bhattacharya, we've heard what the Sebi chairperson and her husband have had to say. The Adani Group also reacting to what they call a malicious campaign against them. What do you make of this latest report by Hindenburg? What's its objective?
Let's just look at it from a 60,000 feet level. The business of Hindenburg apparently is to short sell and make money out of it, right? And as long as it's within the rules of a nation, that's fine. But I need to understand, why are they coming out with this report at this point in time? Are they an investigation authority? Do they have the mandate for investigation, or are they a journalist who's doing suo motu investigations for the benefit of Indians? If they're a journalist, then they're doing a pretty yellow journalism, because I will go through each, a few of the examples of from the report and see how they have twisted words and how they have twisted facts. So it's, and I don't think the market will fall. And I think all of us in the panel will probably agree with me, because this is a personal attack on the Sebi chairperson. It does not say the market is weak. It does not say that any of the companies are not making profits. I mean, obviously, this quarter was a bit weak for the Indian companies, and the stock market has already discounted that. So what is the purpose of coming out with this report? Because this seems to be a personal attack. It seems to be firing at people, and it seems to be doing some journalistic work, and at that, a very shoddy journalism. Let me go through some of the stuff written in that report, and I'm just taking them up randomly. It says, as detailed in our original Adani report, documents from the Directorate of Revenue Intelligence alleges that Adani grossly overvalued the import valuation of key power equipment. And then they say they use this to siphon and launder money, and that's how they increase their valuation in the last few years. Now, they very glibly miss out that this is not a verdict from DRI. There is a show cause notice, and there are thousands of such show cause notice that DRI gives to many entities wherever they have some doubts to clear. And obviously, Hindenburg has not mentioned that it's a show cause notice. In their wordings, they kind of mentioned that DRI has already convicted Adani on this. They also very glibly miss out the fact that this is a show cause notice of 15/5/2014, which is already investigated, done, and dusted, and it's over. And there are thousands of such show cause notices to all kinds of companies every year that goes from DRI, and that is the job of DRI, and that's the strength of the Indian institutions in India. If you read further into what they have written, they say a subsequent investigation by non-profit project Adani Watch. There's a non-profit project called Adani Watch, which makes whole tons of allegation. Now, because it is a non-profit, we must bow down to whatever allegations they have made. The key questions that come up is, who is funding Adani Watch? Who owns Adani Watch? Why was it set up? Who was given them the mandate? What is their responsibility? Why are they passing comments on anything to do with the Indian stock market? Where are they sitting? Which nationality owns Adani Watch? Why was it created? All these questions are not answered. Very glibly, it says a non-profit project Adani Watch, as if after that we'll put a halo sign on top of the Adani Watch and pray to them. Then they go on to say she as in the chairperson Sebi, personally wrote to India Infoline using her private Gmail account, doing business through her husband's name to redeem the units in the fund. Look at the twisting of the words. Using her private Gmail account, if you are doing your personal stock dealings, will you use the company account? Will you use the government account? Obviously, you will use your personal account. Why are they using these words? Using her personal Gmail account as if that's a huge crime she committed. Doing business through her husband's name, and then they put the letter. The letter clearly shows that she's not doing it through her husband's name. She's doing it on behalf of her husband's name, and that's her right. That's a right as a citizen of India. What is wrong in that? Now, by twisting these words continuously in that report, they are taking facts and twisting them, and then having subtruths and misrepresentations and untruths built into their allegations. I can go on and on in every single line. I can take one more randomly. In brief, despite the existence of thousands of mainstream, reputable onshore Indian mutual fund products, an industry she knows is responsible for regulating, document shows Sebi chairperson Madhabi and her husband had stakes in a multi-layered offshore fund structure. Now, what is wrong with that? If she had bought something in the Indian mutual funds, then the allegation will be that she is managing the mutual funds, and so there's a conflict of interest if she buys something in India. And so she's bought something outside within the rules and the laws of this land. What exactly is wrong with this? Why is this being misrepresented in the manner that they have misrepresented it? You buy within the country, there is a problem. You buy outside the country, there is a problem. And who is Hindenburg to ask a question on all of this? This is clearly a lot of yellow journalism that is being panded around as reports. Then they're talking about that they invested into a fund about 80 lakh rupees, and that is what funded the multi-billion-dollar Adani corporate empire. I mean, what ridiculousness! $100,000, which is 80 lakhs of investment, is what funded thousands and thousands of crores of Adani. And even in that investment, they actually made a 0.2%
Yes.
loss as per Hindenburg's
Right.
own. And therefore they are saying that there is a wrongdoing on the Sebi chairperson side. I think it's all humdum and
Okay,
every
okay.
single
You're
time
dismissing the report outright. Mithali Nikore, come in here. What do you make of this? And was this something that was to be expected after a notice was sent to Hindenburg and to others by Sebi itself earlier in the year?
Absolutely, Uday. Thank you so much for bringing me into this discussion. And I completely agree with Sharad and all of the other, co-panelists so far. At the end of the day, the Sebi chairperson is the first woman chairperson of such a large market regulator in an emerging economy. India has set a global record for bringing in a woman to lead this organization. And please note that every time women are brought into leading these organizations, it's not just them, but them and their husbands who are brought into these, into these allegations. Have we ever seen that a male, chairman, as Sharad was calling, would be brought in and then his wife would also be questioned in this manner? Sure, some wives are questioned, but not in this manner. So I think the first issue that I have with this entire investigation is dragging the name of an innocent woman, innocent until proven guilty in any way, through the mud without any, as we were just hearing, the yellowish journalism that we are seeing, without any proper evidence. That's the first thing. The second thing which I have a problem with, the Indian Supreme Court has clearly said that they have complete confidence in Sebi's processes and how Sebi has investigated this matter and has also given a judgment in January 2024, clearly expressing Sebi's ability to investigate this case and to clearly look at what are the different aspects of this case. And they have said that they trust Sebi. Now, if this was done by the British Supreme Court or if this was done by the American Supreme Court, would we be questioning it? No. But these people sitting in the US are questioning our institutions because they consider us to be a global South country or an emerging economy without understanding and looking at the credibility of our institutions. So at the end of the day, we cannot accept this kind of external interference in Indian affairs. We must dismiss this report outright. And I completely agree with you there. At the end of the day, when the notice was sent to them, of course, they thought that there has to be some retaliation. And as Sharadji has rightly said, that retaliation needs to now be investigated to see how much profit they are booking tomorrow morning in the first hour of trade because of this report. So we must absolutely launch an investigation right after this call, as Sharadji has said, Sunday evening. And we must protect the rights and dignity of the Sebi chairwoman. And I'm proud to say chairwoman because we need more women in leadership. We need more women leading our financial institutions. The finance minister, the Sebi chairwoman, all of them are examples to young women. And we need to see the entire institutional structure standing behind them.
Yes. Okay. Sumit Peer, come in here on this report, what you make of it and what the intention is of Hindenburg with this latest campaign.
Puri, thank you for having me on your show. First of all, we should stop calling them Hindenburg. We should call them Hindenburg. I always call them Hindenburg because they always run hidden agendas, hidden propagandas, and hidden motives. So I refuse to call them Hindenburg. मैं बुलाता हूँ Hindenburg है. These Hindenburg guys, the owner of the company was a former ambulance driver. Driver tha. He has got 5 CFAs with him and he's about the accounting and financial systems of the entire world. He's about the what we call big 5 or the big 4 of the auditing world. He's about any structure, he's above any government, and he can see what no accounting system or no accounting genius of the world can see. If you are able to give them that kind of stature, look, this Hindenburg is a politico-economic tool for extortion. They are used for political economic extortion. They have become a tool now. Anybody who goes and pays them, they will come up with a report, they'll put some allegations with a disclaimer. Then the markets will see a bloodbath and some people are going to benefit out of that bloodbath. That's the economic side of it. And then the political side will start. Arey, Sebi mein hi ho gaya. This is what Modi ji has done. This is what Sebi has done. There's no regulation. There's no rule in India. Now, there are few things here. When the SBA, the Supreme Court of India has given them a clean sheet, it's gone. Look, these people, I mean, exactly the person who was jumping on the rooftops is Mr. Rahul Gandhi and Congress. When 2 days back, one Bangladeshi journalist, editor of a publication, came to your competitor's channel. He said that he has met Khaleda Zia's son. To that, Congress did not react anything. They are silent, sannata. But when this kind of a report comes, they are suddenly jumping. Why this selective taking of the reports and all? And if you look at the Congress's history, Bofors scam happened. Warren Anderson was here. Who let Warren Anderson go? Congress. Augusta Westland scam? Congress. The Czech pistol scam? Congress. You look at various scams which happened in India. Who were the people who were always with them? And last time with Hindenburg? Congress. So why is that the Congress is always supporting such kind of nefarious elements? Because you want to bring economic anarchy into India. Because Rahul Gandhi has been already questioning all the financial systems of India. He says every system is compromised. It's all infiltrated by RSS. So by bringing these reports, what are you trying to say? You are trying to stop the inflow of investments into India. When India becomes the #1 FDI destination, we have overtaken the China. When our startups are getting maximum money in the world, we have built the third biggest ecosystem of startups. How to scuttle the whole process? You start questioning the system itself. You start questioning the regulator. Last time you said LIC is compromised, highest ever revenue, highest ever profit. You said HAL is destroyed, khatam kar diya Modi ji ne. Highest ever revenue, highest ever profit. You said that there was one more company with slips, but there was LIC, there was HAL, there was one more company said State Bank of India incidentally. It's all sold out by Modi to Ambani and Adani. The State Bank of India highest ever profit registered in the last quarter. When you look at these numbers and they are not able to dismantle those fundamental institutions of India, now you are going to the regulatory, because if you dismantle the regulator's reputation, all the people who are controlled by the regulator automatically tarnish their image. They lose their credibility. And why Adani is targeted? Two reasons. Adani ji is building the most critical infrastructure of India vis-a-vis defense and vis-a-vis our Gati Shakti and other things. If you look at our overseas infrastructure, which is strategic in Seychelles, Bangladesh, Israel, Haifa port, who is building that? Adani ji. Third thing, I didn't want to bring it, but I have to bring it today. Look, Adani ji comes from the Jain community. He started his business like selling those diamond dust and all. From a 20 million diamond export, we are doing 28 billion diamond exports today, which is predominantly controlled by Jains. Now, at the end of the day, when you hit Adani, you're also hitting that community. You're also hitting the 28 billion export industry of India, which is controlled by this particular community, and rightly so. There are a lot of people in Belgium who are upset about that, and there are a lot of people who have vested interest in about that. And the point which you brought in, which I was going to bring in, what is the relation of Adani's vice with the CCP, Chinese Communist Party? How are they hand in glove with CCP? Why don't they come up with such reports against China? Is it untrue to say that FBI has running multiple cases against this Hindenburg? Is it untrue to say there are a lot of companies where he cannot write any short selling reports in America? When this company is banned by America, when this company has FBI cases pending him against America, how does he become our, Khuda, our Bhagwan? Whatever he writes are the words of the Bible. We have to go by each and every word. But it's a political tool. Udai, he has become a political tool, and every such political tool is to bring economic anarchy in India, is to destabilize our every important. Now, Madhabi ji is incidentally a casualty. If it was Madhabi ji, it was some other lady or some other person. They would have exactly done the same thing, and they will start systematically are targeting all our institutions in the same manner, because the idea is political. The idea is to make money and to destabilize the government. This all is done to destabilize the government. When Congress has plethora of scams, Railgate, Chacha Gate, Mama Gate, Colgate, jitne bhi bolo, they're all lying with them. Commonwealth Games. Now they are based on what Sharad ji rightly said, कि garage में ये लोग बैठे US में, and they have written a report. It has become the gospel truth. We have Bharat ko. This is exactly it. And let me take you back to G20. Just before G20 meet, there was one more such, what I call it, Hindi mein kehte sursuri, released by Hindenburg. I will call them Hindenburg. Now, when they released that, Rahul Gandhi did a press conference. He said, Arey, Hindenburg has come up with a report. Modi ji should come up clear. He should talk about it. Tomorrow G20 is coming. They will question our institutions. They will question the repute of India. Now, Mr. Gandhi, was it intentional? What is the credibility of these people? When the journalist, the editor of a Bangladeshi publication has said, you met Khaleda Zia's son, did you come and say, no, I did not meet him? Did anybody in Congress say, no, we didn't meet him? He's saying, I have the proof to talk about it, and it comes on Indian national TV and claims that. So your selective outrage, you're using this as a political tool, your idea to bring down Prime Minister Modi and to bring economic anarchy in the country, stop the investments in the country, challenge everything, give a notion that everything here is managed, manipulated, sab farji bada hai. That is what your intention is. Why are you hanging by the threads? What is their repute? What is their loci? Bhai, jisko America mein nahi log puchte, what makes them hear the, I don't know, what should I call them, the Jesus Christ of the Indian economy or whatever? What makes them that? Who gives them that stature? It's people like you who are elevating them. Otherwise, these papers are desperate.
Okay. What do we expect next in this matter, Dr. Kohli? What do we expect next in this matter? Which way is it headed?
Well, I think if I was Madhabi Puri, I would have straight away gone for a defamation suit in America.
Okay.
And I would have, as I've been recommending earlier, Adani Group can afford some of the best lawyers in the world. They must go to America and file a claim for recovery right now. Because this is, and Sumit called them Hindenburg. I remove HI. It's a Denberg. It's a den there, which is just cooking up stories and trying to defame the governments, the companies around the world. I think there is a very, very strong legal action required. Madhabi Puri, as Sebi chairman, must straight away file a defamation suit, along with Adani must file for recovery of $100 billion plus of the reputation, apart from the reputation loss. So total suit, as per me, should be $1 trillion on this Hindenburg. Then only they'll come out of the den, Uday, is what I have to say.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.